Hello, it's Monday, May 25th, around 9 p.m. The reason I start this video off like this is because I start off all of my videos and all of my voice recordings like this. If you've watched my last few videos, I know I've talked about how I've done voice recordings since last year to process my emotions and self-reflect on my growth and yada, yada, yada. But I am doing this video to just kind of do a check-in because in my last two videos, I was kind of in this middle phase of like transition into finally getting comfortable into the person that I'm becoming. And obviously like I'm continuing to become the best version of me every single day. So I know that I'm not going to be the same person in a year and in 2 years and yada, yada, yada. But I think that there have been some significant changes. For those that don't know, my name is Andrea, and I went through some lore last year, but we're on the come up. And so I've been kind of treating this as an experiment in the sense of like I've been challenging myself to grow as much as I can and then to reflect on that growth and just kind of see the things that I'm capable of doing, not just physically, but internally. And that's what kind of this video is for, is like a check-in. I'm finally kind of comfortable more in this new mindset that I was creating for myself and really being adamant about, you know, forgiveness and self-validation, especially validation outside of a romantic relationship. So to do that, I just check in accountability wise. I deleted social media for about 2 months. Like I deactivated everything. I did not even check it. I have it back now, kind of. I reactivated my socials, but I don't have the app. So like I'll check in once in a while. But I've been feeling a lot of this void, this like not void, but like boredom, because with no social media comes new time, like space to fill this thing with, you know, like what do I do? So this is what I've been doing. I've been locking in on reading. Okay, literate. Okay. I've been locking in on my nutrition. Okay, high protein, low carb. Yes, whatever that means. And I've been like I've already been going to the gym consistently, but I've been really challenging myself more there. And I think the only thing I really want to work on is like my creative endeavors. I have been, but not as much as I want to. I have been like journaling and writing and doing voice recordings, but not as consistent and as often as I like to. But I think what's been really helping me maintain consistency this whole time, and what this video is about, is the IFS system. So if you are, I don't know if you're going through therapy right now, or if in your any kind of like therapist talk, spaces online, but at least through my therapist, she started to introduce to me the IFS system, which is a system and way of thinking that has helped me maintain mindfulness and discipline and emotional control, and really helps me analyze and self-reflect on the parts of me. And so let me give you this analogy. Let me just break it down, explain to you how it works, and then explain to you like how to use it. Okay, so pretty much to explain to you this, I'm going to use an analogy. Let's pretend you're a limo, okay? You're a limo, or you don't have to be a limo, but you're a car with a lot of seats, okay? So you can't be like a Mazda Miata or something. You gotta be a car with a lot of seats. And so for me, I just say a limo. I don't know. And, a limo, a car, has a lot of seats. But there can only be one driver. There can only be one consistent person saying, we're going to go left, we're going to go right. I don't care who's in the back of the car. I'm either going this way or I'm either going that way, and it's only up to me. The driver is supposed to be the best version of you. And so that can look different for everybody, but pretty much it's just the version that feels the best, or not looks the best, but like is the most content. And so for me, it's like the calm version of myself, the most content version, the most grateful version of myself, because I do struggle with high anxiety and like things like that. And so when everything is like calm and I feel great and I feel great about myself and my life, like that's the best version of me. But that's not the only thing that makes me me. That's the best version, but at the end of the day, these seats are filled. These seats are filled. And what's great about it is that there's doors to a car. So those seats, the people in these seats, the parts in these seats can come and go as they please, okay? Not everybody's in the ride the whole time. Not everybody can afford the gas money. But pretty much the passengers are the parts of you. And there's two ways to look at it, or at least two ways that I've seen people use this. For me, I use it in a very like objective way where it's like, okay, the parts of me I'm referring to are my emotions. So anger, sadness, anxiety, stress, pain, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's how I use this kind of system for myself. And what's great about it is that it really helps with mixed feelings because let's say, yeah, like I'm gonna literally just use a real life example. Like I got broken up with, I was in pain, but at the same time I was like, okay, girl, get up, like get the fuck up, life goes on. And so I was like resilient and I really was hopeful that things were going to be okay. And yes, I was in pain, but I was also hopeful and I was also excited. And so all of those parts of me were there at the same exact time. They were all in the car at the same time. And it's great because you're not suppressing any, because if you suppress a passenger, if you say, hey, you're not allowed in the car, you're not getting a ride, they're going to break your window. Okay, they are going to wreck your car until you let them in. But also in the same way that you have to let pain in so it doesn't knock a window out, you also can't let pain drive the car because pain will drive you over a cliff. Okay, all right. So that's one way to look at it. Seeing your parts of you as your emotions and allowing these emotions to come and go as they please, okay? They are not being kidnapped. Also, though, some people I've seen, and this is, I feel like, the way that it was actually intended to be, I will admit, like, I'm pretty sure the system was created to be this way, is the parts of you, rather than being emotions, are versions of you, or are parts that you also get from extended people around you. So like your family, for example, your parents or a guardian projecting a trauma onto you and then you internalizing it and like making that a part of you. You know, the parts of the traumas that we carry from the people that we love, or the traumas that we carry from things that people have done to us, or also just experiences that make us who we are. And so at times I will use that kind of take. It really does help because sometimes things are like really specific and I have to, but to make things a little bit more clear for me, because I can get in my head a lot. That's why I don't do it. I overthink and I need like a very clear map of like what is going on. So I use my emotions, but the other way is actually really, really good because I feel like it's a very investigative way to understand oneself, and to understand the people around you. And I think that's always great to contextualize the people around you. But those are the two ways. And regardless of what way you use, you cannot suppress those parts of yourself. You will never be able to fully understand yourself if you do. You also will subconsciously be living in those parts of yourself and be allowing those parts of yourself to drive your car. And you're going to be wondering, why am I always doing this? Why is this always happening to me, etc.? And it's because you are not allowing yourself to process those parts of you. And, you know, you're like, whether it's because of shame or whether it's like denial or whatever, it's really important that everybody can get in the car and that everybody has a seat in the car. But it's great because, you know, there's multiple seats. Everybody can be in not one at a time, but at the same time. And I think that's what I really like about it is understanding that, yes, I can feel pain, but I can also feel joy. And yes, I can feel anger, but I can also feel gratitude and this and that. And it does one thing, like, or two things, right? I don't suppress my emotions, which is great because then I don't explode based off of one emotion. But then also two, it really liberates me from an identity that is not me. So for example, if I'm just having a hard week and I've just been sad for a consecutive few days, I'm not thinking, okay, I'm feeling sad and I've been feeling sad for a while, so I'm a sad person. Okay, I'm angry right now, I'm going through an angry part of my life, then I'm an angry person, or I'm an anxious person, or I'm a stressed person. And I'm not identifying who I am based on what I'm feeling. that's why the best version of you has to drive the car, because it's the actions, it's the reactions to those feelings and to those passengers that I feel like makes us who we are. I will never be able to understand why people feel the way that they do about things, or why even I feel how I do about things all the time. But I can work with actions. I can work with, you know, I have agency over what I do and how I react. And is it the most uncomfortable thing ever? Yes. It is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, because I think that it's really common, especially right now in my life, at least with the people in my life, where we feel some type of way and we know something is wrong, or we know better. We know this is going to end in pain, but in the moment it feels so, 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 so good. And we care so, so much about it that we decide to ignore or stray away from making the right decisions in the long run, because that short-term pleasure, we decide is worth it, or we tell ourselves it's worth it, or we suppress the other feelings. We don't sit on them too much. And that's why I feel like you really do need to let all of the passengers in the car, because sometimes it's the sadness that saves us, it's the anger that saves us, it's the pride that saves us. And not because you have to be that person, but because it lets you know what you are okay with and what you're not okay with. And I think that as I'm talking about this, that I suppressed a lot of my own anger and my own sadness in my previous relationship, because I was just like, this is like, there's no way that this is not meant to be. Like, there's just no way. And it's like me, like I'm the problem. And it's like, sometimes that the sadness will save you and the anger will save you, but you can't live there either. They can visit, they can take a ride, but they can't drive. They don't have their license, okay? Okay. Well, I hope this analogy helped you a little bit. It helped me a lot. It helps me every day. It's helping me right now as I make this video, actually. I'm very grateful to be here. Grateful to have had the opportunity to even make this video. Hope I see you in the next one. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Have a great week. Bye.